Today on Tiger TV News.
It's been a busy news week. Here is a preview of our top stories.
The only grocery store in the town has struggled to maintain inventory during the pandemic. See how Miller's Harvest Foods was able to stay in business despite numerous challenges.
As prices for supplies rise during the pandemic, a local coffee stand keeps the windows open.
One of Timberlake's very own takes on a road to recovery after a medical scare.
The Spirit Lake Fire Department keeps in touch with the community about fire safety.
And the basketball program continues its success in the 2021 season, and Brooke Jessen takes on her senior basketball season with a bright future ahead.
Stay tuned for Tiger TV News.
Tiger TV News starts now.
Hello and welcome to Tiger TV News. I'm Kendall Lewis.
And I'm Dawson Rainey. It's a beautiful Thursday here at Timberlake High School. We have lots of news for you this chilly February morning, starting with the experience of our local grocery store, Miller's Harvest Foods. Let's see what reporter Ella Nunn was able to learn about how they are managing the pandemic.
Here in Spirit Lake, we are almost out of the pandemic, with local grocery stores such as Miller's Harvest Foods that have been here with us since the beginning. Local residents remember what it was like when they were coming here looking just for their essential needs. Safe to say that COVID-19 had an effect on the entire world, and local grocery store Miller's Harvest Foods in Spirit Lake, Idaho was absolutely no exception.
COVID affected our business in a lot of different ways. I would say primarily with inventory it affected us the most, so normal everyday items that were a staple inside the store are no longer available when we're ordering them.
As you can see, Miller's clearly recovered from this, but it wasn't easy.
Our maintenance dominantly, we have people actively cleaning all day long from the time that we open, from the time we get here at 5 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night.
That, coupled with less product on the shelves, severely affected the company's income and people's willingness to work.
We've had a lot harder time hiring employees during the pandemic. It's definitely been a challenge.
Miller's managed to overcome these challenges, and some customers claim they didn't even notice a change at all.
You know, as Miller's, I didn't notice a lot, but other stores around here, they got really slow. But Miller's kind of stayed the way it normally was.
Overall, Miller's is just one of the many stores that pulled through these terrible and troubling times. This has been Ella Nunn reporting for Tiger TV.
Thank you for that story, Ella. Miller's isn't the only local business to face tough times.
Reporter Sammy Wilfong looked at how a small business fired up espressos stayed afloat this year.
Coffee sales here at Fire Up Espresso weren't so hot a few months ago, but now they're steaming up.
COVID-19 has made 2020 a rough year for all businesses. A local coffee stand, Fire Up Espresso, has done everything they can to stay open.
It was probably affected by about 50%. The hardest part for us is when they closed down all of the schools. It took a huge hit on our business.
With schools and other businesses shutting down, the profits have already changed dramatically. The owner, Erin Pettit, shares the changes she had to make to keep the windows open.
We had to let 3 people go or lay them off, and then we went down to a single staff as one person had to run the whole stand.
Although they were one of the few coffee stands to stay open, supplies were harder than ever to get.
The biggest effect was the dairy products for some reason, which is hard because that's all we have in the stand is milk and cream and cheese, and they've all significantly went up in price. As far as milk, I would have to go from store to store to store and get 2 gallons because we were limited per gallons, so I'd be out till like 9 o'clock at night to stock the stand.
Along with all the other changes, sanitation came first.
We still are not wearing masks in the stand just because we're 6 feet away, but our bleach water is a higher concentrate.
Due to social distancing, many people were missing their hometown connections.
As far as us being able to stay open, it was huge, and I think it was huge for people, sort of like it was their only outing.
Although it may have been difficult with all the different changes this year, this coffee stand found a way to keep a smile on their faces.
This has been reporter Sammy Wilfong signing out for Tiger TV News.
Coming up on Tiger TV News, we learn about our very own teacher and how she helped her daughter's life with a kidney donation.
And that's not all. Timberlake's BPA chapter helps the local fire department spread awareness about fire safety.
After that, we take a look inside of our Timberlake boys basketball programs, as well as the success story of Brooke Jessen basketball phenomena.
We'll be right back after this message from our sponsor.
Welcome back, Tiger TV News. I'm Dawson.
And I'm Kendall Lewis. Here at Timberlake, we have a very tight-knit school, and we know the importance of family. One of our own teachers, Mrs. Whaley, and her daughter Casey, a student here, showed us the true meaning of family these past few months. Here's reporter Brooke Jessen with their story.
Casey Jean Whaley, a freshman in high school. Casey seemed like your average teenager in high school. She plays volleyball, plays softball, sings choir, and goes hunting and fishing. However, in the end of June of 2019, everything changed. Casey and her little sister got the flu. Her sister recovered from the flu, but Casey continued to feel bad.
I was throwing up. I looked like I was white, like very white. And I kind of look green sometimes.
So she went to the doctors twice, and the doctors thought it was stress-related or heat stroke, and then they provided her with antibiotics. However, her mother, Jennifer Whaley, made the doctors take a blood test, and 5 hours later, they rushed her to Sacred Heart. They soon realized that her antibodies started attacking her vital organs. Casey needed a kidney transplant at 15 years old.
So Casey was diagnosed with what's called rapidly progressing glomerulonephritis. So what it is a term of, or a type of vasculitis, and I guess the easiest way possible to say this is that she had the flu last year, and your body produces antibodies to fight off your flu. Well, her body just kept producing them, and the flu was gone, but the antibodies had nowhere to go, so they attacked her kidneys.
Thankfully, her mother Jennifer was the perfect donor. Kidney failure affects more than 7,500,000 people in the U.S. every year. Having a kidney transplant will affect Casey's life forever.
It's something that she'll have to deal with for the rest of her life. I mean, hopefully she gets 20 years out of my kidney, but she's going to need another kidney transplant. So while it's a relief that this is all happening and kind of coming to a close, it's going to happen again. She's going to need a kidney transplant again.
Not only has it affected Casey's life, but also her family's.
It's affected us a lot. I mean, it's completely life-changing. We've had to, we lived in Seattle for 3 months last year. We're going to live in Seattle for 3 months here. I don't know, I guess if physically that would be it. Emotionally, it's just been a roller coaster for all of us, just dealing with everything that she's had to deal with.
The community has been so supportive of Casey and her family.
I think that you just, when you come across a situation like this with your family, you truly find out how caring and compassionate people are. The friends, family, and even strangers that have stepped up to help Jenny and Matt has just been amazing. People will stop by and drop off Lysol wipes. They'll send gift cards. They'll just do all kinds of random things, and that's been, if anything can be a blessing, that has been, because it's meant a lot to all of us that they've taken care of Casey and her family.
So Casey began doing dialysis for 10 hours every night. Sanitation is a huge precaution before and after dialysis. After surgery, she can't wait to go.
I didn't get to go swimming hardly over the summer because I couldn't go in the lakes, so I'm excited to go in the lakes. And then I can go fishing and hunting way more.
Make-A-Wish Foundation gave hope to Casey and her family.
What I'm probably gonna do, maybe, is going to Costa Rica and going fishing, and I want to get a mahi-mahi and a sailfish.
And her grandparents can't wait for her to be a kid again.
I just want to see Casey get to be a kid like she's supposed to be right now.
November 18th, 2020, Casey received her new kidney and is recovering great. After a successful surgery, it was an emotional time when Casey and her mother were able to see each other for the first time.
To just getting to see her and knowing it was a success. It was emotional.
The first thing Casey and her mother wanted to do was
play volleyball,
eat, sleep,
eat Wheaties.
Eat Wheaties. Yeah, it went through like 30 boxes of Wheaties in Seattle.
It's been 2 months since the surgery and Casey's back to being herself. She's been coming to school and started playing sports again. Casey Whaley isn't your average teenager. She's a fighter.
It's wonderful to see the family healthy once again. Such a strong group. Proud they're part of Timberlake.
Yeah, for sure. The fire department is making efforts to be involved in the community, starting with educating our youth on the importance of fire safety. Reporter Peyton Lindley went on a ride-along to learn about how the community can stay safe this winter.
I'm Peyton Lindley, and I'm here at Timberlake High School, where firefighters are working alongside students to help create a safer community.
Hi, I'm Chris Larson. I'm here today to talk to you about fire safety.
Timberlake BPA covered this story because the pandemic has made it difficult for the fire department to visit schools individually. The students of Timberlake were able to demonstrate how a fire drill is properly done. Shortly after the alarm sound, the police, ambulance, and fire department arrived at the school.
Today we're going to talk about some fire safety and calling 911 and if there's ever an emergency. So if you ever have an emergency, you can make sure to call 911, make sure you know where the phone is in your house. It's very important to know your home address. It's very important to know maybe the color of your house and any other describing factors of where you live so that emergency responders, whether it's the fire department or the police, they know how to find you and where to go.
Each year in the United States, the #1 leading cause of fires in the home is a cooking fire or unattended cooking fire. It's just really important to keep your pets out of the kitchen, away from the stove area so you don't trip on them.
We thank our fire and police departments for everything that they do. This has been reporter Peyton Lindley signing out for Tiger TV News.
It's great to see that the firefighters are working so hard to keep the community safe.
Certainly, what a great asset to the community.
Up next, after the break, we follow the success of the Timberlake basketball program throughout the 2021 season and hear about Brooke Jesson's future on the court.
We'll be right back after this message from our sponsor. Welcome back, I'm Dawson Rainey.
And I'm Kendall Lewis, and this is Tiger TV News. Reporter Tanner Menti is here to take us on a journey with Timberlake's basketball teams as they take on the season with the goal of going to state.
Thank you, Kendall. Hello, I'm Tanner Menti, and I'll be walking you through our sports today. With the boys basketball team just 5 days away from the district tournament and the girls going on to play state, the only thought on everyone's mind is basketball. One of the top players in Idaho, Brooke Jesson, has been making strides and is now signed D1 for the state of Texas, Rio Grande University. Here's Brooke Jesson's Rise to the Top.
I started playing basketball in 3rd grade, so like 10 years.
Whether she's on the court or off the court, Brooke Jesson is a huge asset to Timberlake's girls basketball team.
Yeah, Brooke's a huge asset to our team. She is currently 7 points away from becoming the 2nd all-time leading scorer in Timberlake history, and she's already the 2nd leading rebounder all-time, and she still has half of the season left in her senior year.
For the past 4 years, Brooke has been improving non-stop to become one of the top players on her team.
Especially this year, I've seen her become a way more physical and intense player, and she's put a lot of effort in, especially the last year and this year.
She's just grown a lot as a person, and she's grown a lot as a player. Like, all of her individual skills have improved a lot. She's really improved her shooting in the last 2 years.
The 3rd grade, she was out there with 6th graders, 7th graders, and she was just overwhelmed. But working with those mature, those girls were 3, 4 years older than her, she grew up faster, she matured faster, she learned a lot.
Brooke Jesson has risen to the top of her team and isn't done yet.
I broke a 2.5-minute shooting record in practice.
She is currently 7 points away from becoming the 2nd all-time leading scorer in Timberlake history.
I broke the overall scoring points in a game.
Brooke Jessen doesn't just shine through her individual skills. She also shines through her teamwork and helping the team stay positive.
I'd say that I'm pretty positive. I like to cheer people on and just like tell them that they're doing a great job and just try to be aggressive players to so role models to other people.
She's really grown into a great player, a teammate that I believe everybody enjoys having her on the team.
One big thing that stands out to me from playing with Brooke is in practice she's always trying to be super positive and have a good time, so she brings a lot of positive energy by being funny and trying to just be a great teammate and keep the team in good spirits.
With her set of skills, it's no wonder that Brooke is going on to play D1 for the University of Texas Rio Grande University.
We are extremely proud and extremely excited to watch her.
The competition will be greater, but Brooke Jessen is sure to succeed. We'll be paying close attention to Brooke's journey through college and cheering her on along the way. With districts just 5 days away, boys basketball has been practicing non-stop to bring home a district title. Teamwork means everything for these boys, and reporter Jay Gelders has written a story about teamwork and coordination on the boys basketball team.
Teamwork is essential in any part of a team, and the Timberlake boys basketball team has made it a priority. I went and interviewed some of the players and the coaches to see their take on teamwork.
Conflict is a natural part of being on a team, and if conflict is left unresolved, it can tear the team apart. My team and I asked the boys varsity basketball team what some of the issues they have are and how they deal with them.
The personal goals, personal showcases that individual players want to do. They want to usually prove to the coaches or to the fans that there's their own skill levels or skill sets, their own personal goals. That's usually in conflict with the other players, so that's usually what the players have conflict with each other. It's the reason.
Anytime your guys just like brothers, you're around each other for any amount of time, you're going to get on each other's nerves. A lot of that's just the competitiveness and being boys.
A couple of people have gotten COVID, so it's been a little hard because we've lost several players, but I mean, resolving it has been pretty easy. We've just next man up.
Now we know some of the conflict within the basketball team, but what happens if it is left unresolved?
If you have players that are more concerned with what their stats are and what they're doing, and if there's those conflicts within a team, it can destroy the team. It's cancer, it's poison, and it'll absolutely destroy a team. So you got to get rid of those as soon as you can.
It definitely affects our team because we can't communicate as well. Everybody's mad at each other, and that just doesn't end up well for our team.
It takes away from their focus. Their focus is, once again, if it's an individual goal that doesn't match up with the team goal, then you can definitely tell that their focus is elsewhere. They have different priorities. So we don't get very far as a team in a game when players begin to play for themselves.
If you don't resolve conflicts within a team, you're not going to play to the level you can actually play at, and it'll just go downhill from there, and you really won't win any games, and you'll just never have any fun, which is really what the game is about.
After we found out what type of conflict they have on their team, we asked them how they deal with it and what they do to resolve it.
Usually we communicate, we kind of stop and just talk it out and see what's the issue, what happened. And if not, then we have to take people out and set them aside and talk to them and get them in the right spot before you put them back in.
The best thing to do is communicate. When you have some kids that are maybe getting on each other's nerves or doing some things that some of the other teammates aren't liking, it's just best to talk it through. Get the kids on the same page, make sure they understand what I want, make sure they understand what each other wants.
I think the best way to do it is just to talk it out, let each other know. We're all here for a common goal. And I think a lot of that starts with us coaches and preaching the same message and things like that. And we're all rowing the boat in the same direction. So any conflict that kind of gets in the way, it's best if we just kind of get it out in the air. And I like to let the kids kind of handle it. Let them work through it. I'll be a mediator if I need to, but a lot of times they handle it themselves. They're kind of like watching them kind of sort through it and then get through it because they're going to have to do it in life anyway.
So we got to sit them down and we got to talk to them and tell them that really their individual goals should match up with the team goal. That's the overall overriding #1 goal is team success. So if we can kind of curtail their goals and show them that their goals will match the team goal, then we should smooth out those rough edges.
if like somebody had a problem with someone, we'd just like talk it out, you know.
How does working out these issues help the basketball team?
We all play much better when there's no conflicts in the team. So when we resolve stuff, we all kind of flow way better than when we would if we had conflicts.
Conflict's going to happen. It happens every day. It'll happen in a game, in a practice, anything like that. Learning how to work through it is going to be what makes a team successful. Because like I said, it's going to happen. There's no real way to avoid it. And I think once we go through conflict and once we get through it, it makes us stronger.
When you can get rid of that negativeness in your team, when you can get rid of that stuff that brings the team down, the team just really shines. I mean, they're teenage boys and they want to work hard. But if you got to make sure that that energy is pushed in the right direction.
If you want any sort of team success, then you have to fix those conflicts because we need everybody on the same page, all working towards the team goal of success.
Being able to resolve conflict kind of brings you closer as a team and can make it to where you play above just individuals and play together.
The boys basketball team at Timberlake High School resolves their conflict and issues through communication and working through them as a team. And as a result, it helps them with how they play and brings them closer as a team. The Timberlake boys basketball team has taught me a lot about teamwork and how to work with a team. This is Jay signing out. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much, Jay. Hopefully the team is able to continue their good luck streak and take home a district championship. Good luck to the boys at districts, and good luck to the girls at state. Thank you. This has been Tanner Menti, signing out live for Tiger TV Sports.
Well, that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow on Tiger TV News.